И, конечно, вопрос, это все перейдет в ядерную фазу или нет, потому что если так все дальше идет, то перейдет обязательно. И не тактическим шарахать мы будем на Украине, уж поверьте. Ну, сердце у спрута, по-стругацким, вот Соединенные Штаты Америки. И все цели, которые должны быть под прицелом, они же из советских времен есть. И те, которые в Америке, и те, которые в Европе, и те, которые в других местах, где сосредоточено американское ядерное оружие, где стоят американские военные базы. Вот хотелось бы, чтобы на подлете к этой ядерной фазе мы все-таки добили врага, не перейдя этот Рубикон. Но если придется, что теперь поделать? И, конечно, вопрос, это все перейдет в ядерную фазу или нет, потому что если так все дальше идет, то перейдет обязательно. И не тактическим шарахать мы будем на Украине, уж поверьте. Ну, сердце у спрута, по-стругацким, это Соединенные Штаты Америки. И все цели, которые должны быть под прицелом, они же из советских времен есть. И те, которые в Америке, и те, которые в Европе, и те, которые в других местах, где сосредоточены американские.
All right, Shalom. I'd like to start out by saying Ka Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone and my elder Heroin as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Khanak Sa'am by Yashar Allah for the Lions and Yashar Allah Camp. There's another Lions, Good News, and Prophecy. And it says, Russian state TV warns U.S. a nuclear strike will happen in the crosshairs. All right, well, basically it's saying the United States is in the crosshairs of this nuclear attack, supposing that they're going to do on Ukraine. Right? I got a couple of scriptures I want to go to line up with this article. Lord, one is message to edify and serve His purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Excuse my clearing of the throat. There's stuff in this. I'm a little under the weather, but we're gonna push through the spirit. I got my little elderberry tea. Hibiscus, elderberry, and mullein leaf. Yeah. All right, now let me get into it. It says a Russian state TV host has warned that if the Ukrainian war escalates to a nuclear phase, the Kremlin will strike the United States with nuclear weapons as it is in the crosshairs. All right? So to be in the crosshairs, right, that means in line of sight of a target. As a matter of fact, let me look that up. All right, so what does it mean to be in the crosshairs? I mean, in a situation which you are the target or victim of somebody's anger, violence, or blame, in the fight over well, that's it. In a situation in which you are the target or victim of somebody's anger, violence, or blame. So, America's a target. America's in the crosshairs of Russia, man. All right. So basically, like we said before, that this is way bigger than Ukraine. And the thing about it, not only America, but Europe is in the crosshairs too. Russia's not playing anymore, man. So this is obviously instead of them saying that, because it will escalate into a nuclear war. They've been talking about using strategic nukes for a while now. So it says Russian political commentator and president of Russia's Institute of the Middle East, Yevgeny Satinovsky, made the warning in a clip that has gone viral, and I played that clip in the beginning. All right, it was in Russia. It was in Russian, but it was basically saying that, you know, not only is America in the crosshairs, but Europe is too. All of them are going to feel the effects. It said they've been in the crosshairs since the Soviet Union. All right, it says the advisor of the Ukrainian Internal Affairs Ministry, Anton Gershovchenko, shared the clip on this Twitter page on June 12th, and the video translated by Gerashchenko has so far been viewed by more than 100,000 times. It says this comes from Russian President Vladimir Putin announced on Friday, June 9th, he would begin deploying tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus on July 7th through 8th, days before a NATO summit is set to be held in neighboring country Lithuania. That's sending a message if it ain't doing anything else. Why would they wait for that particular date to shoot nukes? Tactical nukes at that. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin attends the Supreme Economic Eurasian Council at the Grand Kremlin Palace on May 25th, 2023 in Moscow, Russia. A Russian state TV pundit has said Russia will use a nuclear strike on the U.S. if the conflict in Ukraine continues as it is. All right? It says the question is, will it at all reach the nuclear phase or not? That's not a question, that's an inevitable. It says because if it keeps going like this, it will definitely happen, Satanovsky said on Russian state TV. And it won't be tactical, but strategic nuclear weapons that will be striking at Ukraine. Believe me, the United States of America and all the targets that need to be in the crosshairs. They have been there since the Soviet times, and those in the United States and those in Europe and those in other places where American nuclear weapons are concentrated, where there are nuclear military bases. And you know, there's nuclear military bases on every continent on this earth. You know? It says, so I wish that on the way to the nuclear phase, we could finish off the enemy without crossing the Rubicon. But if we have to, we can't. What can we do? So basically, they're saying their backs against the wall. They have no choice but to go to nuclear strike. It says, since Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, Russian commentators and officials have said the Kremlin has prepared to use nuclear weapons in the conflict. In April 2023, Dmitry Medvedev, the former Russian president, said the likelihood of nuclear weapons described as the backbone that holds the state together being used was growing day by day. It's like it's growing by the day. Medvedev, who has Putin's stand-in president between 2008 and 2012, and now serves as a deputy head of Russia's Security Council, has issued nuclear threats frequently. In my opinion, concerns about climate change is nothing compared to the prospect of being at the epicenter of an explosion with a temperature of 5,000 Kelvin, a shockwave of 350 meters per second, and a pressure of 3,000 kilograms per square meter, with penetrating radiation that is ionizing radiation and electromagnetic pulse, he said in an educational event in late April, according to Russian state-run news agency RIA Novosti. Is there such a prospective day? Unfortunately, yes, and it is growing every day for well-known reasons, he said. Previously in January, he said in a Telegram post discussing NATO support for Ukraine military, defeat of a nuclear power in conventional war may trigger a nuclear war. Newsweek had contacted the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs via email for comments. All right, so now, basically, they're pulling the trigger, and they're giving fair warning to what's going to happen. So it shouldn't be no surprise to anybody. See, what it is, though, they think that he's bluffing. They think that he's bluffing, and America is the only one that does the bluffing, man. Everybody else is ready to strike against America. You know? I want to get a couple scriptures to back this article up. And this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 5. It says, they come from a far country, even the ends of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. That's the whole land he's talking about is America. All right. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, it shall come as a desolation, as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Right. You know, because it's going to be a terrible time once it's going to be a terrible time before the nuclear strikes come. And they're talking about doing nuclear strikes as early as next month, in July 7th and 8th. All right. And it says, and they shall be afraid, pain and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. All right. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, who both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So 2/3 of Jakes are going to be caught up in that too. You know? 2/3 of Jakes are going to be caught up in that, man, for falling behind this system. All right? So not only is America going to be caught up in this, but all the way to the foundation of America, man. As a matter of fact, let me get Isaiah 14. And 9. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And America is already weakening economically. So, in theory, they can't even afford to go to war. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down from the ground, which didst weaken the nations? All right. And who was that beacon of light? That Luciferian. That's the Illuminati. That's the upper elites that are swinging the hammer of the earth. All right. It says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend up to heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation on the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like unto the Most High. And they've done that. All right. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Right. And where's that pit at? That pit is at the bottomless pit in Europe, man. So not only is America going to be brought down, but also Europe is going to be brought down. All right? It said, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? So ultimately, this is going to be the destruction of Esau, starting with America all the way over there to Europe. And even though Russia is going to be the forerunner of this, they're going to be ultimately destroyed too, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to tear down all these kingdoms, man, with one swoop. You know? That made the whole world a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. Right. They went everywhere talking about coming in the name of democracy, but really they were coming in the name of demonocracy, enslaving all the people, turning them away from the customs of their father. And they still have those houses over here in America, man. you know. So ultimately, man, Russia has America, the United States, and Europe in the crosshairs for nuclear destruction, man. You know. So they said they want to start as early as July 7th and 8th. All right. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to serve its purpose. With that, Allah Sakah, Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Havakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone, my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the icon that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.